Okay, everybody, I'm so excited. I just connected with Joan. I'm in Idaho, and we are about to go find a major campsite, but we have about, another 4 hours of driving?
Yep.
She's been waiting on me. It took me about 5 hours to get here, but I'm here. We're going to finish up tonight, and we'll get our campsite tomorrow, and can't wait to share it with you.
Yay!
We can't wait to see it. We don't even know.
Nope.
Okay, so, Joan, I met you in Twin Falls,
Yes.
and we thought we were going to go to the next town, Idaho Falls.
Yes.
Too hot.
Yes.
Then we found another place further down the road, and it was a beautiful rest area.
Yes.
Sorry about the mosquitoes. Y'all are going to see them flying around us, but we have stuff on us, so hopefully they won't land. And it's been hot, so Joan has her hat on, and I have my hair pulled up. So this is camping world. And we didn't stay at that rest area because we were, less than an hour and a half away from an area where we thought we could find camping pretty easily, because there were a lot of places that it said we could camp, and so we decided to keep going. So it made for a long day of driving.
It did.
And we got to the area, and we found a campground, a cute little campground, and we paid for a site, and it was just $8 each because of our passes. But we had enough daylight left that we thought, well, we will go scouting
To see where we go the next morning.
to see where we were going to go the next morning. And we drove, and we drove, and we drove some more. And we came back down the road, and we saw this place, and it is beautiful, and we're so happy to be here. But you guys, it took us 13 hours from beginning to end. Plan A didn't work, Plan B didn't work, Plan C didn't work, Plan D was iffy, and we finally landed here. And it was so great that we went back to the campsite, forfeited our $8, and came here because it was hard to find camping. This was like the spot in a 100-mile radius. Now,
Because there was a lot of people in here, and because we were looking for good cell service.
well, that's what I was fixing to say.
Oh.
It's like I could have camped anywhere, but even further out without cell signal, there were only like half a dozen spots maybe.
Yeah.
So it's not like there were like hundreds. There were like half a dozen maybe. But I have promised my trustee that I will not camp without signal. And my close friends, my tribe, they want me to have signal to be able to make a phone call. We're talking about you couldn't even make a phone call. And so we snagged this spot while we could. And I think what I want viewers to understand is, because like Joan, you thought, because everybody says, look at this map. Look at all this public land
Camp anywhere.
Yeah, over on the western side of the United States. All of that camping, there's not a problem. Is that true?
No. I learned how to off-road drive.
Yeah, and that's going to be an upcoming video. So y'all watch. She learned how to do 4x roads because we have to have a place to go after this. And so we have gone out hours of scouting for our next spot, and we still haven't found that. And so I think what I want everybody to understand is you see these Instagram moments and these beautiful places that people camp, and people tell you there's camping everywhere. You can't just pull off and camp.
Not when there's a 18-foot ditch.
There might not be access.
Or 18-inch ditch.
Yeah, there might be thousands of acres out there that you're sitting on the road looking at.
Yes.
And it's BLM, or it's National Forest, or it's Corps of Engineers.
Gorgeous.
What beautiful land, like she's saying. Doesn't mean you can get to it. And even if you could get to it, it doesn't mean that you can camp on it. It has to be an established campsite. You can't just go running over vegetation and say, oop, I found my campsite. That's not how it works. And so if somebody is telling you that you can go camping anywhere and all of this public land is available to you, that's not exactly true. And then you start narrowing it down to your type of vehicle. Joan pulls a very small, beautiful, lovely scamp, and if you haven't seen that tour, go check it out. And so she can get into a lot of places, but she still has, and she has a 4x truck, but she still has a hitch, and she still has a trailer, and she has to watch for dips because you can get stuck with that. I'm in a 23 foot, which is rather small by RV standards, Class C. And it's a dually, and it's got good clearance on the bottom, so I can get into a lot of places, not like I used to could with my van. So you get limited even if there are campsites, and you end up having days that go into night like ours did. We finally pulled into this campsite at 10 o'clock that night. We were both so exhausted.
We were probably crazy to do that, to run back, hitch up, come out. But it was so pretty. I didn't want the chance of losing it.
Yeah, and so I don't know if I agree with that we were probably crazy to do that.
Oh.
Because I think that if we had even gotten up at 6 o'clock the next morning, we are pretty far off of the National Forest Road that's up here by our campsite. We're pretty far off of it. We don't get dusted and everything because we're down in the valley. We're I guess about an eighth of a mile from that main road. I mean, it's not a main road. It's a National Forest Service road. But I don't know. I'm going to let you say. About how many vehicles do you think pass by here daily? I've got a guess, but I want to see what you say.
80?
Yeah. It's crazy. And most of them, some of them are doing cattle drop-offs, and some of them are locals and doing different things. But most of them, the biggest percentage of them are looking for a campsite.
They're pulling rigs.
They're pulling rigs, and they are starting at dawn. And so I don't know that we would have gotten it, even if we'd have gotten up at dawn and gotten here the next morning.
Okay.
So I was thrilled to have a partner that I'm traveling with that was willing to be so flexible, forego the $8 each, hook back up and come back out here and grab this site. Yeah. And like I said, wait till you see the 4x4 driving that she has done, because we're trying to still find our next campsite. So that's the whole purpose of this. We want you to see this beautiful place that we found. We're on a creek. We're not by the road. We have nobody around us. We're just really close to the gorgeous Snake River, but it's also a 5-day camping limit. So be sure you know your areas. Sometimes they're 3, sometimes they're 5. I've seen 10. It's not always 14 days. And we found a ranger and we talked to her and she told us what we needed to do, but you're gonna have to wait till the next video for that.
Love Jamie.
Yeah, her name was Jamie, and so you get to meet her in another video. But we wanted this to kind of be, to share our experience with you, and to say that you can find places like this and with a signal. But it's not always easy, and you better have plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D, and plan E, as it turns out.
That really surprised me. This is my first year of really boondocking. Last year, I was all in Quartzsite. So this is my first year boondocking, so I'm following with you. I'm learning from you.
I'm so sorry.
And then it's just not what I expected.
Yeah.
I thought, boom, gonna go, find it,
Yeah.
hook up, and or set our camp. And that's not what happened. And we've been out twice now.
Twice
looking.
more looking in a 100-mile radius. It's not like we're just going down the road and going, shucks, we can't find anything.
No.
We've talked to the ranger. She sent us places, and again, that's coming up in a video. And so I appreciate you sharing that, because that is the perception out there, that you can just go anywhere in all of this public land and you're going to be okay to find camping. And I'm here to tell you, please make sure you have backup plans for your backup plans, and that you are self-sufficient enough if you're going to go out boondocking. So I have a lot of friends that do campground to campground and, make their reservations, and that's fine. That's a whole different ball game. But if you're going to go out trying to find land, well, I got to back up and tell you, I messed up. Look at her face.
You messed up?
I messed up. Not really, because I wanted to hook up with Joan. And so, but I never, ever, 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 are y'all hearing me? I never, ever, ever, ever go out looking for my plan A, my plan B, my plan C. I usually have 3. This time it took 5. but I never go out looking for those 3 places unless I leave early in the morning. That didn't happen because I drove to Twin Falls and I met Joan, and that's great. I mean, things happen, right? And we get to camp together. And so be sure that you leave early and that you allow enough time and space and energy and gas. Thank God Joan was willing to drive her 4x4 Ranger to do all of this recon. That's what we call it, doing a recon to find a campsite. Because I get 8 to 10 miles to the gallon. I would have been.
I get 23.
Yeah. And I would have had to get Bandit because it's getting coyote 30 out here, and I don't want him loose. But I would have had to gone down the mountain like 2 or 3 times to fill up and come back out and still do all of this recon. So anyway, we hope that you learned something from this and that maybe it clears up any ideas that people have that you're just going to drive out here.
Definite misconceptions.
Yeah, hit
Definitely.
la land and pull over off the road and camp in nirvana. It's possible, but sometimes it takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
We hope you enjoy this video, everybody, and thank you for being here. We'll see you down the road, and
Go.
keep on keeping on.
Keep on.
Bye.
Thank you.